Chariots of Fire and the Charioteer. Welcome back, family. Today we're going to begin another series. This one is going to be dealing with the chariots from the Bible. And also, we're going to be using this terminology to decode these chariots of fire from Scripture in the Mazzaroth. And I want to thank Brother Dana Channel for um, what we're going to be presenting today. Let's go ahead and we're going to go show this post. This is from Brother Dana Channel 4 days ago, I believe. We're looking at a post that he made. This is actually an update. I believe he has posted this before this time. And what this is his rendition of the I Pet Goat 2 sign in the Mazzaroth, and he is showing the eye as Camelopardalis and the pet goat as Auriga, and the two as the Gemini constellation. Let's see if we can increase the size. Actually, I think I have this. Let's go here, and then we can increase size here, and we can take a look at this. You can see here that he has this line going from the bottom section of this Camelopardalis constellation. And then he has essentially the line going through the top of the goat's head, through the shoulder of Auriga, and then into the bottom section of the Gemini constellation. And if you look at his, forgive me, fam, let's go back here. If you look at his post, then you can see that he is presenting information about his findings on the day counts. And then you can see here, I, comma, and this is the I, comma, pet goat 2. And he has this equating to comma is the Camelopardalis, and the pet goat equals the man holding a goat, which is the constellation Auriga. And then he has the two as the twins Gemini. And this channel, Brother Dana, presents very, very amazing finds, and he is a great watchman for the body of Messiah, and he has presented many, many great finds that are included in Scripture, and then also here as he's doing in this presentation in the heavens. Now, based on this finding that he made, I was actually going to do an entire study on the Auriga constellation based on the ancient Mazzaroth and all of the ancient history and I mean, there is so much mythology in ancient history that is tied to this constellation, and it's important for us to bring all of these things out because the scriptures do not bring any of this information forward, and neither do the majority of the religions have any information about this, but we do find within the legends and the mythology of history many, 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 I mean, literally hundreds of different stories about this constellation, Auriga. And so I believe there's a connection that this brother has made. And so I want to continue the work that he's started and hopefully bring what I know about the Mazzaroth to light and help Brother Dana to finish his code. Because that's really what this is. This is an encoded message. We know that IPET Goat 2 is an encoded warning about the second 911. And for those of us who are capable of doing this kind of decoding work, we can help to warn the body of Messiah. And then this can also be a witness to those who are going to see these messages later. So let's go ahead and get into this. The first thing that I wanted to do is let everyone know that this is not going to be a short video, and we're going to be doing this in multiple sections or videos because of all of this information that I want to bring forward. I want to go to this website, Constellations of Words, and this has helped me over the years. Uh, it seems that any question that I have about these constellations, um, if I can't dig it up anywhere else, I can come back here and really dig in and find the ancient stories that are connected to the answers that I'm looking for. And that is a very, very important for anybody doing this kind of work. So I want to recommend this Constellation of Words uh, .com. We are here on the constellation Auriga, and this is the Great Charioteer. And the Charioteer Auriga plays a big role in many of the mythological stories from history. It plays a huge role in what we would consider the Egyptian sun god stories. It also plays a role in multiple religions, but it comes to us as a chariot for the sun, and it doesn't go into much detail until you get into all of the mythological stories. And so this website is going to be our platform for the understanding that I'm going to be presenting, and it's going to be very, very important that we go through these mythological stories and we bring out the little tidbits that help us to decode these heavenly signs. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start right here at the beginning. We're going to be moving around a lot in this site, and we'll be coming back and moving our way through the entire thing because I really want to bring forward this entire research page. And then we're going to be using, as we showed, the Brother Dana depiction of his understanding of the IPET Goat 2 breakdown. And then we're also going to be looking at a Stellarium, and we're going to be using the tools that we have in Stellarium to see if those who encoded that video are using the tools that are available to us online with Stellarium and other star. There are other star programs that do exactly the same thing, but I believe with all of my heart now that these people have encoded a heavenly message and that this can all be decoded in the heavens. And I believe that I have been given the keys to unlock this understanding. And so we're going to be walking through all of this information so that we can see how this applies to the escape of the bride. And it also is heavily tied to the tribulation signs. And so let's go ahead and start right here. This is constellation of words. Auriga next, bearing his footsteps near the crouching bull Taurus, comes the Charioteer, whose calling won him heaven and a name first of men to speed in a high chariot behind a team of 4. He was seen by Jupiter and hallowed in the skies. Him followed the kids, Hades the kids, Hodis 1 and Hodis 11, and Capella the she-goat are not proper constellations, but simply individual stars in Auriga that, with their constellation close the seas. Translators note referring to the matutinal setting of the kids in mid-November. From when until early March, navigation for the most part was suspended, and the goat, famed for having suckled the king of heaven, Zeus, nourished from her udders, he seized the throne of Olympus, drawing strength from that wild milk to wield the lightning and power of thunder. Therefore Jupiter hallowed it and was its due, with a place among the eternal stars, repaying heaven gained with the gift of heaven. Manilius Astronomica, 1st century AD, page 33. Okay, first, what we're going to do after that first section is we're going to be taking a look in the heavens And what we're going to be looking at here is the constellation Auriga. Let's go ahead and center that. We're going to focus right now on this constellation of Auriga. And we can see that Auriga is called the Charioteer. And we see his reins in his right hand for the chariot, and we see that he is holding the she goat and the kid goats, and we do not see a chariot. And so what we're wondering is what happened to the chariot? And in the ancient times, the chariot was actually depicted as the two horns of Taurus. And you can see in the constellation of Taurus the star Elnath. And that is called the knee of the Charioteer, and it's also the horn of Taurus. And this was the entrance of the Charioteer into the chariot, which was the horns of Taurus. And he drove his chariot along the ecliptic, and he entered into the chariot here in the heavens. And again, if we go back to the story, we are looking at uh, Zeus, who is also considered Jupiter. And we're looking at Jupiter in our understanding in the Mazzaroth as the king of heaven. And we also know that the wise men during the time of Christ and the Star of Bethlehem, this was all considered during those signs. We had Jupiter as the king star. And again, if you're new to this channel, planets in the ancient times were called wandering stars. And those wandering stars moved through the heavens, and they were just all considered stars, including the sun and the moon. All of these were considered stars. And stars can also be, in the ancient times, considered angels. And so what we're looking at here is Jupiter between the horns of Taurus, driving the chariot. And this is the king planet or the king star. And this also is associated with Regulus in Leo. And many of you who have been following this channel or other Mazzaroth channels, I'm sure that you know all about the Star of Bethlehem and how Jupiter coming into conjunction with Regulus in the Leo constellation was one of the most important signs to the wise men back before the birth of Christ. And that is one of the Mazzaroth signs that they used to decode the time of the birth of Christ using the scriptures of Daniel and the prophecies of Zoroaster. and actually it goes beyond that. There are many writings within the Nag Hammadi that are connected to these ancient stories. You have Zostrianos, and that is a book written by the grandfather of Zoroaster. And these codes go back long time before even Daniel was taken into Babylon, and that is when he um met uh, Zarathustra, who is called Zoroaster in the Greek language. And these wise men or these priests had the ancient understanding of the Mazzaroth, and they were able to decode this heavenly language. And this is all tied to star codes and star language. So what we're looking at in heaven, let's go back really quick. We're looking at this decode of I pet goat 2. And what I want to bring forward is Brother Dana is right on track, but there's a small discrepancy in the understanding of the 2. He has it as Gemini, and what I'm saying is if we go to Stellarium and let's look at this from a perspective of decoding this star language. So he has Camelopardalis as the I. He has the connection down here in the bottom of the constellation, more towards the rear of the camel. And what I want to bring forward is that in order for this to work, we have to work off of what we call the pole star and the meridian line. And I'm not sure if Brother Dana did any of that work. I think he may have been trying to understand it from just a linear perspective. But what I am bringing forward is that it's absolutely vital for us to use this meridian line from the pole star to make these alignments. So let's go ahead and take a look at that really quick. We're looking at the green line here, which is meridian. We're looking at the red line here, which is ecliptic. And we're going to watch. You can see how the movement here is always up in the right hand side. You'll see that this is always, let's go ahead and pull it in here. This is the center. We'll just go ahead and you can watch this by the hours. We'll just move this around. You can see this is called the pole star, fam. And everything moves in the heavens around this pole star. And this is how we make our determinations here when we're looking at our timing of alignments, because I guarantee you the makers of this iPet Goat 2 video are using this meridian line. And we have to see this line work correctly with the stars. And so if we go back here, we're looking at the Charioteer having the horns of Taurus as the chariot, and then we're also looking at Jupiter as the driver, who is considered Zeus in these ancient stories. But again, Zeus can be associated with the sun, and we know from the ancient depiction that the sun is the bridegroom. And so if we put down all the mythology and we just look at the Mazzaroth, then we're looking at actually the story of Messiah. And he's the driver of the chariot, and he is the one coming to rescue all of the kid goats and uh, the she goat, who is considered the, the bride. And this is the Charioteer, and Auriga is that sign of the pet goat. And we can go and look at this post. We can see he has Camelopardalis as the eye, comma, and then we have the pet goat because Auriga is holding the she goat and the kid goats. And then again, what I'm saying is that instead of just a line going through these constellations, it's vital for us to use this meridian. And if we continue to do our studies using this website, let's go ahead and go on for just a little bit, and then I'm going to show you some more stuff in the Mazzaroth. According to Olcott, the origin of this ancient constellation is lost. It has been represented for ages as a mighty man seated on the Milky Way, and like a shepherd carrying a goat on his shoulder and a pair of little kids in his hand. The first magnitude star Capella shines in the heart of the imaginary goat. To the Greeks, Auriga represented Ericantheus, son of Vulcan and king of Athens, who was the first to devise a chariot drawn by 4 horses, which he used in order to conceal his greatly deformed feet. The goat and kids depicted in the constellation commemorate the goat upon whose milk Jupiter was reared, together with her offspring. It is uncertain if the chariot should be part of this constellation. Auriga was the Latin word for charioteer, or driver of a chariot. And in most classical writings, the constellation was meant to represent a charioteer with or without goats. And the Greeks had the name Enochios, the holder of the reins. But on Assyrian tablets, Auriga was the chariot. And in accordance with the Greco-Babylonian times, the constellation Rukubi, the chariot, lay here nearly coincident with our charioteer. A chariot was imagined in the Big Dipper asterism of Ursa Major. One writer of astronomical myth, John F. Blank, in Astronomical Myths 1877, thought that the proximity of the chariot in Ursa Major accounts for the name of the Charioteer applied to this constellation. Auriga is the Latin word for a charioteer or driver, from Latin or ig, he who manages the horse's bit, compounded with aurea, plural, bridle of a horse, or ega, the driver. Aure stands for aurea, plural, a derivative of os, genitive auris, mouth. The suffix ega derived from agere, to set in motion, drive, lead. In ancient Rome, the Auriga was a slave or chauffeur whose duty was to drive a biga, the light vehicle powered by two horses. Okay, so back to this, and we're looking at this I, comma, pet goat. And again, the horns of Taurus are the chariot in ancient times. We're looking at the Auriga constellation functioning here with the meridian. And what I found is here, if we look here, I want to do this work correctly. And so what we're going to be looking at, not you. First, we're going to be looking at this constellation, Camelopardalis, and we're going to watch how this constellation moves around the heavens. You can see that it is, number one, it's an opposing sign to Draco in the heavens. We can watch that right here. We can watch that. See, it's an opposing sign in the heavens. It's on the opposite side of Draco, between Ursa Minor, who the pole star in Ursa Minor. We can see how this Camelopardalis is in opposition to Draco. And we can see here on the right that we are looking at Cepheus and Cassiopeia. This is the king and the queen of heaven, and they are essentially standing on the back of Camelopardalis. And this is our section of heaven that is dealing with the bride and the bridegroom and all of the warriors in heaven that are associated with the protection of this area. And it is associated with Auriga the Charioteer. And so what we're going to be looking at here is this. Let's go ahead and bring it up on center. We're going to be looking at this star here. And we're going to be looking at meridian. So let's go ahead and show you how this works in the heavens. We're going to be bringing up this alignment. So we're here and we're aligned now with the pole star and with the constellation of Camelopardalis. And if we go down into the Auriga constellation, then we'll notice a couple things about this alignment here. It happens on 5. Let's go ahead and pull this back up. And I want to start right here. And we're going to show you how this works in heaven. Now we know we're aligned. Let's actually make sure we're aligned. Okay, we can see here we're aligned in heaven with the pole star and with the star of Camelopardalis. And now we're going down and we're going right through the she goat and we're going right through the kid goats and we're going right through the Elnath star, and it also connects to Bellatrix. This is a alignment with Orion. It goes directly through the rabbit, and over here it makes a very important alignment through Mensa. And this cloud here, this large Magellanic cloud, if you do this nebula research and you look more into this Mensa, I don't want to go into it now because I could get lost for an hour just talking about this constellation and how it's associated with the Bible and prophecy and scripture, and just this right here alone is possibly hours to talk about, and we just don't have that time. This is something that if you want to go and do more research, this will blow your mind alone. So we're going to continue looking through because this is all connected. This is one great story. You go through the meridian and then you end up going directly through the Ara constellation. This is the burning fire, the altar of fire. And that's going to become very, very important when we look at these signs. It goes right through the Golden Gate and the stinger of Scorpion. It goes right through the leg of Ophiuchus, which we know, if you've been following this channel, this is the entrance into the Golden Gate, and it's also the exit of the Hupa, the wedding Hupa. It goes directly through Ophiuchus and Serpens. It goes directly through Hercules. It essentially cuts off the head of Draco, and you can't make any of these things up. This is all a grand story playing out in the heavens. And I'm doing my best to present this information for the entire body. And what I found is, let's go ahead and move back in time. We're going to be watching Jupiter, and we're essentially moving forward here a month earlier, and we're just watching Jupiter transition to its point of aligning with this Elnath star. And we can see here that we have the alignment on the 5th and the 6th. It actually is a closer alignment here on the 6th with all of the research that I did. But it does align on the 5th, on May the 5th and May the 6th. We have this alignment with Jupiter. Again, when we're going back here, the more we read about all of this, you'll see that it is definitely dealing with the planet Jupiter, and you can't make this up. We literally have Jupiter as the driver of the chariot right now. He has been sitting. Let's just go back. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you know that we've been watching this for a while. And we have these signs that have been showing up. This goes back even into January. We were watching Jupiter approaching the horns. And so we watch here as Jupiter does retrograde and comes out of retrograde right at the horn, family. Again, marking the horn of Taurus. And as we move forward and it comes out of retrograde and moves forward, now we see the completion of this movement of Jupiter to his position aligned with Elnath. And this meridian alignment here on the 6th is pretty serious when you look at the other signs that are in the heavens. So what we're doing today is we're bringing forth this understanding using our brother Dana did this depiction, and using this constellation of words and using stellarium, what we're looking at is a slightly different understanding, but we're still looking at Camelopardalis as the eye, comma. We're looking at Auriga as the pet goat, and we're looking at the 2 as the 2 horns of Taurus instead of Gemini. And again, the reason we're looking at it that way is from all of the ancient mythology, and then also bringing in the planet Jupiter, because Jupiter is heavily tied in these stories. And we have Jupiter aligning here with this meridian line on May 5th and May 6th. And so I'm bringing forward this information so that we can see these alignments and find um, how the heavens are speaking to us based on this decode. So let's go quickly. Again, we're going to make this in multiple parts. I'm going to try to finish this up, and then we're going to come back in part 2, and we're going to dig deep into the constellation of words, and we're going to be bringing forward the iPad Goat 2 video, and we're going to show you how these things are all connected. But I want to show you these signs that are connected with this alignment on this day. First, if you go back to the 5th, let's go watch. We're going to be looking at a couple different alignments here that are happening at basically the same time. First, if we go back, we can look at Mercury on the 5th, transition to the band of the Eastern Fish, And this is happening right before midnight on the 5th. We're watching Mercury the Messenger. This is again a warning sign to the Eastern fish, which you can look at as the general church. And now we're going to be moving over here to Mars. And this is a very, very important sign, family. This is Mars is in the Mars. Let's look here. Hold back. This is the constellation of Cancer. If you've been following me for a while, then you know how important Persepe is, what we call the beehive cluster or the manger. This is the manger of the kid goats and the lambs. And we're looking at Mars, which is the planet of war, and it's also ruled by Archangel Camael, and this is a sign of judgment, a high heaven, and Camael is also one of the warrior angels that battles in the war in heaven with Michael for Messiah in defeat of the fallen ones. And this is an amazing sign here coming up. Let's pull back just so we can see the manger, and we're looking at the entrance of right in line with the moon. We can see right here Mars enters into the manger and is in the manger and comes out on the 6th. And again, family, this is all associated with this alignment because it's happening on the 6th also. Let's get this on center, and we can see how this is aligning here on the 6th, and Mars is inside. Mercury has just come off of the band. And we also have this sign that's connected to the same day. We can look back and we can see how the moon is lined up with Regulus here in the heart of the lion, in the scythe of Leo, at the same time that Mars is inside of the beehive cluster, and then again, the same time that Jupiter is aligning with Elnath. And this is all associated with Auriga the Charioteer. And let's go ahead and pull that back to our time. And we can see that this is all happening, aligning with these stars that we have to have in alignment. We can see that it's lined up with the pole star, with the neck of Camelopardalis. It goes right through the she goat. It goes right through the kid goats. And then it goes right through the 2 horns of Taurus, right through the planet Jupiter, who is considered the king that drives the chariot. And this is all happening on the 5th and the 6th of May in 2025. And I want to thank you for coming. We're going to come back again and we're going to bring forward part 2. I want to give a special shout out to Brother Dana. Thanks for your work on this. And I hope you find this very interesting. This is another alternative view based on using the tools of Stellarium and then also looking at some ancient mythology. Much love, have a great day, and we will be back very soon.